Sutton Stracke just had to sit at the reunion and face the fact that fans were not happy with how she treated Jennifer Tilly this season. And what makes this so uncomfortable is that Jennifer isn't just a castmate. She's been Sutton's best friend for years, outside of the show, before any of this. And Sutton snapped on her multiple times. She cut her off mid-sentence at a dinner in Sedona, told her, "Please stop, just stop." And Jennifer was so caught off guard that she literally went silent and said, "I don't think there's anything great I can say right now." And then to make it even messier, Dorit jumped in during the reunion and said Sutton went to the dark side at Rachel Zoe's birthday party. So now Sutton is getting it from the fans, from her best friend, and from the woman she's been feuding with all season. Let's break this down. So here's the full picture of what happened between Sutton and Jennifer this season, because it wasn't just one moment, it was a pattern. The tension started building when Jennifer made a comment about Sutton's friendship with Garcelle Beauvais. During a dinner scene, Jennifer brought up Garcelle's departure from the show and implied that maybe Sutton wasn't giving as much to the friendship as Garcelle was. And that devastated Sutton, because Jennifer had witnessed firsthand how deeply Sutton grieved that friendship ending. She watched Sutton be heartbroken over losing Garcelle for months. So for Jennifer to then suggest that maybe Sutton was part of the problem in front of the group, on camera, felt like a betrayal. On the after show, Sutton confronted Jennifer about it directly. She said, "You had seen, over those months, how deeply sad I was about losing my friendship with Garcelle, and Jennifer was genuinely remorseful. She said she felt like she was just trying to steer the conversation and that she didn't mean to bring Garcelle into it the way it came across. She said, I felt like I was talking to Kyle, but I wasn't bringing Garcelle into it. I was using it as an example, but the damage was already done." And then came the Sedona dinner, which was the moment that really turned fans against Sutton. Amanda Frances had just been called out by Erica for being gossipy, and Jennifer tried to jump in, probably to redirect the conversation or lighten the mood. She barely got 2 words out before Sutton cut her off with a sharp, "Please stop, just stop." Jennifer, visibly stung, said she wasn't even talking about that, and quietly backed down. In her confessional, Jennifer admitted it may have been the most strained their friendship had ever been. The rest of the cast noticed too. Boz said on the after show that she was shocked to see Sutton and Jennifer at odds because they're so close outside the show. She said Sutton was clearly in a corner and was striking out at anybody who said anything. Dorit, who has been on the receiving end of Sutton's sharp tongue all season, said she wasn't surprised at all. She said, "I've been on the other side of it. You know what surprises me? The soft touch, meaning other cast members handle Sutton with kid gloves, while Dorit gets the full force." And Kyle admitted she was taken aback that Jennifer would verbalize those thoughts on camera, knowing Sutton would eventually see it. Now at the reunion, Andy brought all of this up. Jennifer and Sutton addressed the hurt feelings in what's being described as a genuinely vulnerable moment. Jennifer acknowledged that her comments were real, but that she was regretful about how they landed. And Sutton apparently took accountability for snapping. The two moved forward, which is honestly a rare thing on this show, 2 people actually resolving something instead of doubling down. But then Dorit entered the chat, because of course she did. In the Part 2 preview, Dorit claims that Sutton went to the dark side at Rachel Zoe's disco birthday party, the same event where Sutton suggested Dorit should apologize to Kyle, and Dorit called her a weirdo. Dorit's framing is that Sutton was inserting herself into drama that had nothing to do with her, and that the sweet, calm Sutton everyone thinks they know has a side that comes out when she's backed into a corner. And honestly, after watching how she treated Jennifer this season, it's harder to completely dismiss that. Here's where I land on this. Sutton has been going through a lot this season. Her ex-husband Christian asked for an annulment of their marriage, which is different from a divorce. It's essentially saying the marriage never should have existed in the first place. She's been adjusting to being an empty nester. She recently changed her name back to Sutton Brown. There's a lot happening beneath the surface. And when people are overwhelmed, they sometimes lash out at the people closest to them because those are the people who feel safest to snap at. Jennifer was the safest person in that room for Sutton, and she took the hit. But fans weren't having it. The backlash was loud enough that Andy specifically brought it up at the reunion, telling Sutton that fans were not happy with how she treated Jennifer. And that's significant because Andy doesn't usually relay fan sentiment that directly, unless it was overwhelming. So Sutton had to sit there and hear that the audience saw what happened and didn't like it. The good news is that Jennifer and Sutton appear to have worked through it. Their friendship seems intact. But this season showed a side of Sutton that she usually reserves for people like Dorrit or Erica. And seeing her aim it at her actual best friend was jarring. It's one thing to be sharp with someone you're feuding with, it's another thing entirely to shut down the person who has your back the most. Part 2 airs April 30th. Pop off in the comments, smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!